when you hear that sound, it is court in session with me, Alp. And tonight we have a guest appearance by none other than Zaire Matara, Court Z.
Yes, sir.
Tonight is a special. We are looking at the game Barbados versus Paraguay in the FIBA Americup Pre-qualifying. I will start with you, Z. What did you think about the game?
Well, good night, everybody. And for our first game tournament, being Barbados hasn't played internationally in a while, I was pretty impressed with the game itself. I thought we started a bit slow. It was hard finding a rhythm early on, and I think that we stepped it up. We started to run our stuff, started to get off some shots. Shots started to drop, found a rhythm. There's some early foul trouble for Chiron, so it probably offset the rhythm of the subs and stuff a bit. But I thought, all in all, if I had to put a grade on it, honestly, I thought we should have come up with a win. But if I had to put a grade on it, I would say a positive 6.5. I don't want to go too high. Obviously, I want to leave room for improvement, and I think we could do a lot better. But for first time for a while, I think I saw some good things.
Right. I agree with you, most of that. I just thought we were nervous in the beginning. And as a basketball player, when people are nervous, the shots coming short, right? And then when they're not coming out short, they're coming too hard. So I thought we were nervous in the beginning. I thought we played too slow in the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
And I just thought that we were a little out of sorts in the first half. Obviously, we picked it up in the second half. And also, Chiron getting in foul trouble kind of hurt our rotation. But I think, all in all, it was a fairly decent. I also thought we should have come with a win, but this is the first time we are playing at this level. And, and I think for our first time in about 4 years we played international basketball.
2018, if I'm mistaken.
2018, it is 2023, right?
Yeah, I think Suriname was 2018.
Right. So, I mean, for a first game for 5 years, I think that was a pretty decent showing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought what undid us also was the turnovers. We turned over the ball too much. We had 23 turnovers.
Well, they had 22.
Yeah. But they had one guy who scored 33 points.
Off the bench.
Right. Mercado. And then they had one other person who got in double figures. Well, we had Carl Thorpe getting double figures, Hannah Thomas getting double figures, Keith Burkett. He got 17, and Chiron came back in the second half and got 20. Mm-hmm. So, all in all, I think it's a good showing for our first game. I know people will be disappointed. You can see all the things that went wrong, but I think there are a lot of things that went right that we can really hold our heads high when it comes to to this game. So what you thought about, well, we look at the rotations. We know that was a rotation. Chiron picking up his early foul trouble really hurt the rotation. So we had some problems with the rotation. What do you think about it?
I thought it went pretty much to what I expected. You got to also remember, outside of Lockhart, Marsh, and Burkett, this is everybody's debut tour. I mean, Justin Powell would have been on one tour before, but this is debut tour, so I know everybody would have been trying to get their feet wet, and this is also coach's first coaching stint as well, so a lot of inexperience. So I thought the rotation, I thought like the first couple minutes, you would have got a lot of quick rotations because obviously the travel and the jet lag as well, trying to get people in and out. And I thought I would have seen even if it was just for a minute, that all 12 people would have touched the floor, at least within the first 15 minutes of the game, just to get them out there. I thought in the middle of the second quarter, where the game started to run away a bit, then you could pretty much go to the depth of the bench just to get the feet wet, get everybody on the floor, just get those nerves out. But then with the introduction of Derany as the first person off the bench, I'm not sure if that was by plan or because it was Cairo getting in foul trouble. I know he practiced his game here because Zarian was the first person off the bench. But all in all, I thought those pieces would have been rotated in and out between Kazarian, Darren, Carl, and who's the other person off the bench? Makaya.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the rotation of the five starters that I expected.
Okay. I don't like to second guess coaches, especially I don't know what's going on in his head. But I thought I I thought Chiron getting foul trouble hurt the rotation. But all in all, when I really look back at it, we were right there. I mean, we lost the game in like the last 3 minutes, right? And we had some costly turnovers. And we will learn from this. When you get down to the end is when you really have to run your stuff. And I think that when we get down to the end, it starts a little heroish, where people are starting to try to get us.
And stagnant.
Yeah, where people are trying to get us out of the problem and digging the hole a little further. But that is a learning experience. And as you said, this is a team with at least, 9 rookies. So I mean, for a first game, I think it was fairly decent. I hate to lose games, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
But for first game,
also we gotta look into. I mean, experience. Speaking from experience and going into a tournament, and especially of this caliber where you're playing teams like Chile, Uruguay, and who play Paraguay. Sorry, we don't really have a clue about them. We don't play them often. We don't know about them. They don't have big name players. And one thing you know about the South American teams, there can be a lot of fundamentally sound players, thick in the body, and willing to play physical, willing to go to the basket, play strong, dirty up the game, keep the game, in the trenches, offensive rebound, push the ball to the floor. They don't shoot the ball well from three, and I thought that we did a good job realizing that in the second half. And I think coach dropped into a zone in the second half, which really started to work because then you forced them to take the ball at the 3-point line. We still gave up too many points in the paint because they scored, let me check again, 56 points in the paint. Every time we look wrong, we was giving up a layup. And we can't do that against teams like this. They're not athletic. They're not going to blow you out the gym in terms of their athleticism. When you play against the South American teams, you're not going to shoot the ball as well. So I thought that going over screens and switching the smaller defender onto some of the bigger Paraguay guys was downfall. You could go under all those screens and force them to shoot the ball. This in the NBA where you got Lillard coming off the top, or Steph Curry. You go under all of these screens and dare them to shoot. And we see that they weren't a strong 3-point shooting team. And so I thought that, the adjustments in the second half was pretty good. But as you said, we were down 3 with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, we lost the game in the last 3 minutes. But as you say, everybody's learning right there.
Yeah.
And I mean, coming down the stretch, we gotta know that we gotta run our stuff and try to get the best shot and not the first shot. And everybody don't try to get us out of the hole. And if we had a couple of 2-point baskets or some rims going to the rim against some foul trouble, against some fouls and going to the line, that would have helped a little bit. We also missed a lot of free throws. We lost by 10. We missed 6 free throws. We turned over the ball 23 times. So all of what we said is true. But then, we were right there still in the game. So I feel good about the direction we're going in. It's just that, everybody, we don't like to lose. I mean, as coaches, we hate to lose. But sometimes, it helps, to see we are now playing 5 years. I didn't even know it was that long. 5 years since we played our last international game. So all in all, I think it was a good showing. And hopefully against Chile, we could, just clean up some stuff and we should be fine. If we qualify for the next tournament, if we qualify for the actual tournament and stuff, I mean, it would be a great thing for Barbados basketball. But as you say, take 9 rookies. Let's see what happens going on in the next 2 games.
Well, now you mentioned the rookies. I was really impressed. There was 2 minutes left in the third quarter. when we had a young lineup out there. It was Derny along with all length. It was Chiron, Carl, Makaya, and Kazarian. I think it was the fifth person, and or it was Carl. But the length on the court was perfect. The youth was there, and we saw them turn up the energy, run the floor, push the ball to the floor, and you saw a different energy altogether. We know Lahard and Marsh are the older guys in the team. Both of them actually played 27 minutes tonight, and they looked a little tired coming on to the end. I know as a coach, and you're running your rotations for the starting five usually are the better players to come on to finish the game. You know, you got that middle of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, and you're running your bench, and then you bring back on your starters. And I don't think the guys at the end pushed through for the coach. I know they were a little tired. As you said, they didn't execute, but I thought the positive stuff out of that was the young boys coming together at the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth, and seeing them on the floor together. I see a lot of bright, a lot of brightness in the future of our basketball.
Yeah, I also I'm very happy where we are. I think we have a number of players overseas, and we are in a really good place right now. We just need to translate some of that success over getting players overseas to improving our Premier League. I really think COVID is what really hurt us, because not playing for nearly 3 years. A fellow that was 32 is now 35, and to crank back up after not playing for 2.5 years is not easy. But I think we are in a good place, and the next game is Chile versus Barbados. What do you think about that game?
Well, again, we don't know what any two look like. I think we gotta make sure the coaches gotta do their jobs and make sure they scout them tonight. I think they're playing each other. So that at least we got some idea going into the next two games of who we're facing and what we need to do to win. Because a tournament like this, if I'm not mistaken, top two qualify. So, in a perfect world, you will have a 3-0 team, a 2-1 team, a 1-2 team, and a 1-3 team. Yes. So you don't want to be that 1-3 team. And right now, he's 0-1. So in other words, we got to win games, and also we have to look at point differential and who beat who. Because now you're in a position where points matter. So even games like today where you lose by 10 or how much ever you lose by, you got to make sure you cut those margins so that if it comes to that, you look at point differential. Honestly, I can't say a lot about the other two teams because we haven't seen them as yet. But coaches need to do their jobs tonight, watch the game, put together their score reports, and tomorrow morning at the practice session, make sure they go over everything that they need to and figure out who's their main guys, because today we saw the two guys from Paraguay, and honestly, we don't know anybody from that team. And one guy went off at 33 in 35 minutes. And, there was the number 4 guy, Sarubi, I think, at the end. He only played 16 minutes, but his play at the end of the game to me was very critical. He made some assists. He made I remember a floater in the middle of the key when Lockhart was marking him. Pretty much, those are the kind of possessions that sealed the game for them, and he controlled the game. But we don't have a clue who's who on the other teams, so we got to do our job and scout the teams tonight.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did see, I did some work online, and I saw a couple of games, YouTube games with Chile. They had a really big guy in the middle. So yes, we gave up a lot of points in the paint, so you have to work on trying to keep that big guy out of the paint. But all in all, I think it was a good show. And for right now, our court in session is adjourned.